Thank you for downloading the TheFlixters podcast. On this week's episode, I'll confess, his body is banging. This guy's body is banging. Anytime I see him in the film, I'm like, I need to work out a bit more. This guy's body is banging, honestly. He's like an action man.
I am so here for Michael B. Jordan. I think he's such a phenomenal actor. I didn't really get into him until Creed. He sold me as an actor in those movies. I think he's fantastic. And then, like I've already said,
I've asked Deval this question, and I'm going to ask you, Charlie, what is it with people's obsession with revenge, the theme of revenge? Why are we fascinated by it? Why do we, in books, in music, and film and TV, why are we so hooked on it? All right, okay, so listen, folks who are listening, if you've just joined us, we are TheFlixters, and we're bringing you episode 139. Deval, I still cannot believe we've been doing this 139. We've done this 139 times. And listen, today's going to be a great show because we are joined by a special guest, and I'm going to let very, very special guest, and I'm going to let Deval do the introduction, and then I'm going to chip in my little bit at the, tag onto that. So Deval, take it away. Who's on our show with us?
Our special guest is none other than Charley Jai herself. Yes, get amplified. I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit as well. Tell us a bit about who she is, why she is, how she is, where she is, all that kind of stuff.
Why she is?
But you know what? This is the first. This is the first. Yeah, man. We're covering all bases, but it's a first. Yeah. Actually, you're our first, not that it matters, but our first female, first lady guest on the show. And it's something that we've been talking about for a while. It's like this show is very, it's like this is just lots of testosterone and sort of maleness on the show. And it's like our audience isn't that. So it's like we need to diversify. We need to get people on that, can relate to our audience. But also, I know I've known you for years. You're a great person. You've got a lot going on.
But yeah, so my name's Charley. Charley Jai. Thanks for saying it right, because loads of people say J and it's not that. It's spelled Jai, so Jai. And I'm a presenter from London. I say to people that I'm quite quirky because I'm just a little bit different in a sense that I'm not textbook. I say what I think, and I don't really care about who's going to be offended. I think if you're offended by something I say, then you need to check yourself, not check me, because I don't know you. And I think that goes for everything and everyone. If somebody says something, it's true. If somebody says something and you feel offended by it, don't attack the person. Start looking at yourself. And outside of my amplified show on IGTV, which is all about giving real people the opportunity to be heard so they can empower and inspire others with their real life stories. I'm heading back into radio soon. Can't wait to be talking about that. And I'm also an advocate for young people. I mentor a lot of young people, which people don't really know about. But I'm just all positive vibes, but I keep it real all the time. Keep it 100. And why I exist is because two people decided to get together and create Doo-Doo. I thought you'd know that. And I'm here. Don't know how they both feel about that at times, but
it's funny you say that, because that was one that was one of the things Daniel Kaluuya said in his acceptance speech.
Yeah, he went to
it's funny you say that, actually. But yeah, and you also love movies and TV. You went a bit to I know his mum was like, oh.
But do you reckon? I just think he was just really emotional. I think he was just like really emotional. I reckon, and he was just like, look, he was just like thankful for the fact that he was at that point and at that point of his career and everything like that. And his mum and his sister were like, oh my gosh, what has he just said? And it was just crazy.
I think he was nervous and unprepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Deval, what were you going to say?
No, I wasn't saying anything. I was just going to say, just thank you for coming into the show. Obviously, you love movies and TV shows as well, so that's why we're here to talk about that. So it should be a good show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I was really interested in kind of getting a different perspective, because obviously I always sound off of Deval and I always ask him like, oh, what did you think of this movie and what did you think of that movie? But now We're going to be speaking about later on in the show, we're going to be reviewing Without Remorse, which is this new Amazon exclusive movie starring Michael B. Jordan. It'd be great to get a different perspective because up until this point, I've always been asking.
He's bored of me, basically. That's what you're trying to say. He's bored of me. Watch him.
No. So this is going to be great. So it's finally, you're going to be getting a different perspective. We probably won't be doing a hidden gem. So drop in on us next week for a hidden gem. But yeah, this week we're going to be reviewing Without Remorse. And before we do any of all that sort of stuff, we've got shout outs.
The first shout out goes to King.Solani. And and she actually responded to a post and she sent kisses. Oh, sent kisses to the Flixters. Because we're always telling her about, movies and TV shows and she loves it. So kisses and hugs back to you, King.Solani. Next shout out goes out to Denise Moraes. Am I saying that correct? Denise Moraes. It sounds very Portuguese. And she added us in a post in relation to the Oscars as well. You're laughing.
this guy, get used to this, Charlie, by the way.
I don't drink alcohol, but I'm starting to feel like I should have a glass.
Join us. Next shout out goes out to Zakharov, who actually, I think Charlie knows Zakharov. Charlie's one of the reasons why Zakharov joined the Flixters. So thank you, Charlie. Zakharov, you know what? He is gangster. He knows all about movies. Every single day we're talking about movies and TV shows. He's a great guy. Trust me, Zakharov.
He is.
Yeah.
Always DMing us and kind of like sending us stuff to watch and we love that. And, there's this great kind of interaction going on. So Zakharov, if you're listening right now, thanks so much for supporting us. And we hope you keep listening. Who else, Deval? Last
one goes out to Filmopedia, who we've recently got in touch with on Instagram. And every week, Filmopedia's messaging us about different movies. This week, Filmopedia messaged us about Promising Young Woman, which is up for, won an Oscar for, I think, Best Script, wasn't it? Which we'll talk about later. So great shout out. Filmopedia.
We've got the whole YouTube thing going on, and we're kind of, Deval, you and I, we're both kind of like adding more videos. Charlie,
we're trying to be like you. We're trying to be good like you and jazz it up.
Yeah, we've noticed, like, you putting up videos and stuff. How do you feel like people respond more to the videos or the podcast? Like, do you have like a preference?
What do you mean on Instagram?
Yeah.
I think what's really good is to check your insights, really. I did a lot of trial and error. I say to people, I've got another account that's a ghost account, and I test things out on there in terms of how they're going to look. So in terms of the size on Instagram or how the font's going to look if I've created the project in Canva, for example. But what I found is that people respond better to anything that's animated, anything that's colorful, if there's less text. If your voice is clear, if things are short, like literally they just want everything fast. And it has to be quite punchy in terms of how it looks and how it sounds. So I got more interactions on my stories. My DM's always flooded the second I put a story out. But it's getting quite even now in terms of posts and stories. But yeah.
All right, brilliant. Wow, there's a little mini lesson for you there. Big shout out to Canva, by the way. Yeah, you just shouted out Canva there.
Great,
Canva's brilliant. I love that app, and I use it for stuff. Deval, you mentioned the Oscars. Now, please go through some of the wins and some of the highs and lows of the show. So, what did you make of it?
Just want to go through a quick couple, really, and obviously you can both join. But Daniel Kaluuya, Best Supporting for Judas and the Black Messiah. This is a bit of great. Obviously, he's a really good actor. We've seen him in Get Out. We've seen him even before Black Mirror from years ago. He's been in lots of good Sicario. Even though he had a really small role in Sicario, that's a gangster film. Whew.
I know.
But another good film as well, Judas and the Black Messiah. But what do you guys think? Best Supporting. Who was supporting in that? Him or Lakeith Stanfield? It's quite confusing, isn't it? But what do you reckon?
Yeah, yeah. For me, anyway, what I think is, it's great that he won, and he's getting the recognition that he so deserves and everything. And when I looked at Lakeith Stanfield's performance and I look at his Daniel's performance, I'm like, wow, man, because they're both absolutely great performances. But I think for the energy, the passion, and kind of what he brought to the role, I think Daniel kind of deserved it, just kind of that a little bit more, I think. And Yeah, man, a big win for him.
Have you seen Judas, Charlie? Did you get to watch Judas and the Black Messiah?
No, because Amazon Prime are cheeky. If I pay £7.99 a month for whatever benefits, I'm confused as to why I then have to pay £13.99 to watch a movie. That's more than the cinema. Like, it's ridiculous now. If you're doing that once a month, okay, it's not necessarily, an issue because maybe you're going to the cinema once a month. But if every single day you want to watch what looks like a classic movie with some great talent, it's costing you £15 on top of your subscription. And absolutely no. So I've not seen it. Sorry, Daniel.
What's your favourite Daniel Kaluuya movie so far that you've seen?
With
what's
Jodie
your favourite
Smith.
Daniel Kaluuya movie
what's
so far?
That movie that he's in with Jodie Smith?
Oh, Queen and Slim. Yes,
Queen and Slim.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that because there's actually, when you watch that movie, when you check it in terms of the average dialogue or script for movie, there's not that much. A lot is riding on their eyes and the way they move their bodies and those subtle little looks that they give each other. A lot of the story is told through that. And I think they both nailed it incredibly. Like, you literally go on the emotional wave with them. Even if overall the plot, you kind of think, okay, really? Yeah. There are moments in there where it's like, wow, you guys are really putting in the work as actors. Like, literally, they were putting in the work. So I think him in that, phenomenal.
She pops up again in Without Remorse, doesn't she? It's all linked.
I really like her. Yeah.
It's all linked.
It is. I didn't know she was going to be in that. So when I saw her, I was like, what, girl?
Yeah. She looks good in that too, trust me.
Yeah,
she looks really good. She's tough. And I didn't know this. She's from Peterborough. She's from Peterborough. I was just like, I went on their kind of Wikipedia page.
Yeah, totally random.
So that's really great. And what did you make of the other wins, Deval?
Yeah, I'll quickly talk about a couple. So Chloe Zhao. Oh man, do you know what? She's obviously directed Eternals, which is going to be a massive Marvel movie due to be out in November, which is looking at Marvel characters from thousands of years ago and how they connect to the stories of today. But Chloe Zhao's film Nomadland, I definitely recommend it. We spoke about it last week. Nomadland is one of those films that not many people will know about, but it's such a intimate journey of someone who literally has little. Let me rephrase that. She has what she needs in her life to be happy and to exist, but to the masses, they perceive her as being a nomad, somebody without fixed abode. I watched this film in bed on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning on a Sunday, and that for me, it was like the whole experience, because inside I wasn't nourished, I wasn't showered, I hadn't brushed my teeth, and all those elements I think added. It's serious. Wow. All those elements added to the enjoyment.
You prepared,
of Nomadland.
Basically.
I think she deserved it.
You looked at the synopsis and thought, right.
Great, and first Asian woman as well to win a. I prepared. I mean, let me ask you, Charlie. When is your favorite time to watch a movie? When's your optimal sort of time where you are going to be in the right frame of mind to watch a film?
Yeah, it's not that technical for me, Deval. I mean, you know what I mean? Somebody suggests a film, and if I feel to watch it, I'll watch it. It could be in the morning, the afternoon, the evening. It's not a case of, what would Deval do? Deval would get into the mindset by not eating, nah, dude. If you tell me to watch a film right now, I'm going to think, right, okay, well, after the podcast, I ain't got much going on. I'll watch the film.
Sometimes
make me laugh.
Sometimes there's some movies, right, where there's sometimes I get someone saying to me, oh look, you got to watch this movie, like it's a deep movie, it's profound, it's about kind of like, I don't know, like child abuse, and I'm like, is this the movie that I want to watch, like say at 9:30 at night, and and put the kids to sleep and stuff and get into this whole thing? And there's just this kind of, sometimes there is, like Deval mentioned, there is kind of this optimal time. But yeah, man, I think Friday Saturday nights, I think like action movies, I think for me personally, they work really well.
Wow, you guys are serious. It's not that deep for me.
Finding out all new stuff.
I love it. Yeah.
We don't mess around.
The thing is, though, I'll tell you what, for example, I'll give you an example. That project, Them, because I kind of knew what it was going to be touching on, I was like, I need to start watching this daytime. And the second it gets dark outside, I'm not watching it. I'll watch a bit of Family Guy and then I'll go to bed. So for me, it's almost like the opposite. I don't like horrors, but if I've got a friend that's starring in a horror, obviously I have to watch it. But I need to watch that in the morning. I can't be watching that just before I go to bed. Yeah. So maybe I do kind of think about it to an sense.
No, I'm with you on that.
I think that's with a lot of people.
And anything that's really deep, like abuse and stuff, I'll give it a miss. There's movies that I've not watched because of the subject and how graphic and whatever it's going to be. I'm like, no.
They're the movies I run to.
No, I can't. No.
You know what? Yeah, we kind of
I run to those.
Yeah, we on the show, Charlie. On this show, we kind of wait for the kind of the sad and the sadistic ones and stuff like that. You know, we love watching those movies because I don't know, they just take, or me anyway, they take me to a different place, and I'm like, shit. How did this come out of someone's mind? Like this world or whatever it is, right? How do they make this movie? That's what I'm thinking about. So. Yeah,
I think there's always some real life experience that's attached to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think things are just plucked out of thin air. When you think of your creative pieces, they come from things that you're inspired by or that you've experienced or that you have a bit of an interest in. No one's going to say they have an interest in sadism, do you know what I mean? But they're going to create a movie that focuses on sadism. It's like, dude, your mind is interested.
It's true. DeVal, you've got some news on Scott Derrickson, and just remind everyone again, like, who is Scott Derrickson and what kind of movies has he made?
Yeah, Scott Derrickson's an interesting director. He done Lights Out, which is a horror film where, you turn the lights out and in the darkness, there's like a creepy, ghostly figure. When you turn the light on, disappears. There's one memorable scene where there's a corridor and the person's
Sounds like a comedy.
No, no, it's just quite scary. The person's turning the lights on and off. As they turn the lights on and off, the creepy figure gets closer and closer to them. It's crazy. Yeah. But he also directed Doctor Strange, Marvel, Benedict Cumberbatch, really good film, obviously. And now this one's called The Black Phone. Yeah, The Black Phone. And this one's about again, it's a bit of a creepy one, but someone kidnaps another person. So I presume it's a man that kidnaps, a man kidnaps a woman, actually. That's what the synopsis is. And he's holding her hostage in a room. And in that room, there's a black phone, which is disconnected. And it's like an old phone. And over a period of time, this phone starts to ring. And when she answers it, she's hearing the souls
the worst nightmare
of people that this kidnapper and murderer has, killed in the past. Exactly. So it's a bit creepy. Obviously, she needs to escape. So this is one I'm going to run to. This is coming out in January 22.
Is this director okay?
It's coming out in January 22. But yeah, this is very it seems like Black Mirror, Twilight Zone-y kind of situation.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. What do you reckon? Are you going to see it?
I mean, that's a certified no from me. We know that. Amar sounds like he's
I'm
involved.
in it. I mean, I'm there. I'm like, hear these kind of like souls being tortured. That sounds really good.
Oh God!
Say wrong number. Wrong number. No. Wrong number.
Please, no. There's like those cold calls,
Have you been in an accident in the past 2 years? No. Gordon, Bennett.
Oh my gosh. Oh, just quickly talking about that. I got one recently over here, and it was just really silly. Like, have you been involved in an accident and stuff like that? And the one thing that I do. Here's a little tip, maybe like for people listening. The one thing that I do, I annoy the other person who's just called me. So what I do is I say, "Oh, can you speak up louder, please? I can't really hear you." And then so they say it again, and then I say, "No, I really can't hear you. Can you just speak louder, please?" And then I start getting louder. I say, "Please, can you speak up louder?" They get so annoyed that they just like swear and they just put the phone down. It's so funny. I love it.
Good.
Wow.
Try that with the ghost.
Try that with a ghost, yeah, exactly.
Okay, last bit of news.
Right, okay.
Oh my gosh, this one's very, very sensitive. So Noel Clarke, BAFTA. What's happening with BAFTA, man? What's going on?
So this came up on the newsfeed and everything. Noel Clarke, British actor, and he's kind of like being behind the whole kidult trilogy of movies, and I know him from even before that from Doctor Who. I loved him in that, and he's been working in the film industry for the past 20 odd years or whatever. And apparently, so there's some allegations being put forward against him, some sexual allegations, and BAFTA, they suspended his award. And whilst obviously this investigation is pending, and I think the police have been involved now, and they're saying, I mean, I haven't read too much into it, but they're saying at least 20 women have come forward and they've kind of, they've said, like, this is what has happened. There's been some abuse. There's been some, wrongdoing, and we want this investigated. So clearly there's a shock within the industry. And I think he came out and he's denied the allegation. But I just thought I'd kind of mention it in there because, we've had the Me Too movement, and, that obviously is still going on, and people of power, people in places of authority, they're finding themselves like, people get found out eventually. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like somewhere along the line, something is going wrong. And, it's just crazy that, this stuff is still happening. But yeah, it happens, and it's going to continue to happen. And Noel Clarke is another piece of the jigsaw. But yeah, I mean, what did you make of it, Deval, Charlie?
Gordon Bennett. I mean, again, it's these allegations that they're all alleged and stuff like that. We don't know the full, the full context, the full details, which I'm sure at some point it's all going to come out. It's just, I mean, when I first found out, I was like, what? Like, obviously, I don't know the dude. I've already seen him in movies and that, but it's just like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like 20 people say there's no smoke without fire, all of this. But at the same time, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not the legal system. I can't stand here and say, yes, he's guilty. But it's just, I mean, the thing that I also find quite sad in these situations, obviously, apart from the people who have allegedly been a victim of this, is the fact that, like, they'll start stopping his shows and stuff like that. And I always feel for the people that have been part of the cast who are now not going to have their films and stuff shown. Like, they're not going to be as, like, they're going to miss out on having their work shown to the public because
their
of
moment,
something that he's done. And it's just crazy all around. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's mad, but
yeah.
Companies at the same time, companies can't be associated or be seen to be associated with these people. So they've got the corporate side of things, to look out for. So, but yeah, it is. I don't know.
I think what happens is that, because there is an article, I can't remember where, but the 20 women have all given their statements in this article. It's laid bare. You can go and read it. You can find it. I just can't remember where the article is. But I think what happens with these companies is that when you look at, for example, one of the schools that he was working with, I can't remember which drama school it was, an allegation was made against him in 2015. They did whatever mini investigation. They found this allegation to be true. And instead of suspending him, they just said, you don't get to do unsupervised classes anymore. So when I look at that and, you get the truth of that and the reality of that, no, I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything because there's no facts out there that have been confirmed, etc. But my thing is, if this has been going on for that long and these companies had whatever they had, this shouldn't have taken so long to come out in terms of these 20 women. I think what's incredibly sad is, like what you said, there's a lot of talented people out there that have put so much into their careers, so much into getting where they are today. They've trusted, they've given money, they've trained, etc. They've done long hours on sets, they've learned their lines and all the rest of it. And now all of these projects are being pulled because this person has done certain things. Some of it has been proven. And so, of course, these companies have to go, look, we can't be associated with you anymore. That, for me, is so heartbreaking, on top of the heartbreak of knowing that somebody that a lot of people held in such high regard has been found to be somebody that was abusing their position of power to some degree. That's essentially what it is. You've abused your position of power to some degree. It's heartbreaking. And on top of that, I'll go as far as to say, you're a black man. And it's not like it would be any less if you were any other race. But when you look at black and brown people and the labels that we're stuck with and the things that people always suspect us of or accuse us of, or the things we're constantly having to defend ourselves over, yet another black man has gone and essentially let down the freaking team. And for me, that's a lot. And if I saw him, I'd have to tell him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
so it's a lot.
True.
It's
absolutely.
It's heartbreaking, and I would be disassociating myself as well, because as the Bible tells you, bad associations do spoil useful habits. So that's one heck of a bad association. So no. To think that it was going on as far back as kidulthood. You're going to watch these movies now and you'll be looking, not necessarily looking for signs of things, but you'll just be watching these movies differently, because you'll know that so-and-so who was in a particular scene with him said this, that, and the third happened. And then you watch the scene, it's like, oh my God, that kind of, it's too much. I just feel for all these women and anyone else that's affected in some sort of way by this situation or other situations that are the same or similar. I can't begin to imagine.
Yeah, and it's sad. Like, it's just quickly touching on that, the whole ITV thing. I think he's got like a 3-part drama out on ITV, and they've said that they're not gonna show the final part. Yes. Is that right?
Is it? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Or something.
I saw that as well. I think I saw that
yesterday,
and I was like, oh my God, there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot of projects that he was either working on that have been pulled, or that he was going to be in and it's been pulled, or projects that are out already, like Amar has said, and like there's a final installment and they're saying, yeah, no, we're not going to show that now. It's his management have dropped him. Like, it's, I mean, it's a lot.
Deep.
It's a lot. I don't know for the future of his career in any capacity now, because, you know, how do you work with somebody like that?
Yeah, how do you kind of prove that, you know, there's always going to be that doubt, which is kind of like, you know, the hardest thing that people have to overcome. But so any further news on that one, obviously we'll keep you posted on that. I think now, Deval, we got to try and fit in some Boxset Watchlist. And I know you've mentioned this before, right? And Deval's kind of spoken about Line of Duty, which is this British TV program. It's on the BBC. And he's been saying some great stuff about it. Yeah, but tell me about this.
Line of Duty. All I can say is, I've been watching it for the past week and a half. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone that hasn't seen it. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw it on BBC and thought, what's Line of Duty? I kept hearing about it recently because it's in its it's on its 6th season, and it must have been a big one because everyone's talking about it. So I played it and been watching it back to back to back. This show is heavy. Whoa. Heavy show. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't saying anything else. The show's heavy. If you ain't seen it, watch it. I got it on pause right now. After we finish recording, I'm back to it.
All I'm seeing is stuff like people are losing their shit over what the mystery is and who's the killer and DC's. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know anything about it. But I mean,
I'll just say what it is quickly. It's just about anti-corrupt. So it's about corrupt police and the police that go to try and solve the crimes that corrupt police, bent coppers. That's what they say in it. So it's just about finding bent coppers, but it's really clever. It's slick. Charlie, Amar, if you ain't seen it, go watch it. Everyone else, go watch it and come back.
All right. Okay. Well,
it's on my watch list because I'm obsessed with Smooth FM, and Angie Greaves is obsessed with Line of Duty. So she's been chatting about it, and I've been thinking, wow, a smooth radio presenter is like literally that station is smooth. But Line of Duty sounds like it's intense. So I'm like, if she's loving it, I need to put that on my watch list. So yeah, I'm going to start that later on today.
Good.
Brilliant.
So you got to get involved, Amar.
I am, so that I can speak to Deval about it and speak to. Definitely.
Yes.
My duty. Charlie, I've got a question. Do you watch trailers?
I try not to because a lot of the time nowadays, trailers it's the entire movie. When I was growing up in the 80s, it wasn't that. It was literally suspense. It was like, you couldn't figure out, what was going to happen or nothing. It just looked like, oh my God, I got to watch that. Whereas now you watch a trailer, it's like you're giving me the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, I'm done.
You know exactly what's coming in the movie. I know. And one of the things that Deval and I, what we like doing is we like kind of speaking about what new trailers are out there and kind of what people can watch. And we've got a few that we think might actually. One of them will definitely fit in with kind of the movie that we're going to be speaking about. But Deval, you've got one, and it's something that's come out on Disney Plus, and it's interesting because it's called The Bad Batch, and we've spoken about this before, and this is related to the Star Wars universe, right?
Yeah, so it's Star Wars animation. I'll just mention it real quickly, but it's out now on Disney Plus, and Star Wars animation literally it fits in with the movies actually, with all the sort of old movies, the new movies, and the prequels, if you want to call it that. But the Bad Batch are literally, as it says on the tin, they are a bad batch of the clones that were created to fight in the Star Wars. The clones with the white sort of armor suits. Yeah, stormtroopers. Yeah, so they're a bad batch that have been created and don't listen to what they're told and stuff like that. And they were discarded. But when they were discarded, they got together and thought, you know what? We're going to do our own thing. We're going to make our own team and fight against both good and evil. So they're just their own little crew doing their own thing. And it puts them in a very unique position because they're a bunch of anti-heroes, which means that they don't have to follow the rules. And it makes all their missions very interesting. So this one should be good. So if you're into Star Wars, you'll love it. If you're not into Star Wars, you'll find it a bit more, interesting than the normal, nice Star Wars. So yeah, go give it a watch.
All right. Well, yeah, that does sound interesting. Charlie, have you been sold on that?
Yeah, you said Star Wars and I was lost, but it does sound interesting.
I know she was.
Nah.
She's thinking next.
Do you know what?
She's thinking next.
Literally, I heard Star Wars and was like, okay, when do we get to the next thing? Like Star Wars, no. But my Uncle Dennis is obsessed with anything sci-fi and whatever, so I'll tell him about it. So there you go. But I was like,
yeah, tell him about it.
Next.
Next. All right. Okay. So this next one. All right. You might be interested in this. So we've got a Jason Statham movie, The Stath, and he's had like an incredible career. I think I've seen him obviously from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and then now he's making movies like The Meg, where literally he is going 1-to-1 with a megalodon, with a prehistoric shark. It's like, This guy, right? Listen, you know what? Whatever you put in front of him, he deals with it. And so he's in this new movie, and funny enough, it's directed by Guy Ritchie. So
that's a good movie.
They're teaming back up again. It is. I like it. And so this one's called Wrath of Man. And if you love your revenge flicks, and I love a good revenge flick. But yeah, if you kind of fans of John Wick, The Equalizer, I think this is going to be right up your alley. And it's literally something bad has happened to Jason Statham's family. And what does he want to do? He wants to go and, get the people who did him wrong. So I've asked Deval this question, and I'm going to ask you, Charlie, what is it with people's obsession with revenge, the theme of revenge? Why are we fascinated by it? Why do we, in books, in music, and film and TV, why are we so hooked on it?
Because if there was no policing, we would be out there breaking jaws and more. That's basically it. We like to watch revenge movies, read revenge books, and see all kind of fantasy things relating to revenge. Because I'm being very, very honest. I'm one of those people. There's a particular person right now that if there was no policing, if there was no law, if I knew I could get away with it, I would snap their neck. Just being true. The revenge movies I'm here for. I can take out my frustrations while I'm watching the revenge movie. Deval knows who that person is.
I think people love them.
That's what's up, man. I'll watch a revenge movie any day. Give me some tips as well.
Yeah. Well, this one, check out the trailer for this one, because you might like it, because it's like Jason Statham doing his revenge stuff, and he's kicking ass, he's shooting people, he's breaking bones, breaking necks, and all because some people took out his wife and his kid, and it kind of is connected to kind of the movie. If you're gonna go seek revenge, it's gonna be that reason, and it's kind of connected. It's kind of connected to the movie that we're going to be speaking about later on. But so if you're fans of Jason Statham, if you're fans of Guy Ritchie, then please go check it out. It's called Wrath of Man, and it's coming out on May the 7th. So like in 5 days' time.
Cool.
Jason Statham's done very well to have a career just playing himself.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I know.
I don't remember the name of any of his characters. I just know that he's been in a movie where he's, being a badass. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's true. It is absolutely true. It's absolutely. And he was an Olympic. Deval, you said he was an Olympic swimmer, was it?
He was a diver, right? I believe. Yeah.
Or something.
He dived for the UK or
really?
Europe. Yeah, he was diving. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Diver. He was a sportsman.
Yeah, but there you go. All right, okay. This leads us nicely into Anniversary Corner. So yeah, Deval, what have you got for us in Anniversary Corner? We've got the one movie this week for you, and take this one away.
Just a real quick one before we go into our main movie review. I'm not really a massive fan of tattoos, but everyone, each to their own. But this is one about the girl with the dragon tattoo. And this one came out in 2011, 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. This is a revenge film. This is from the Swedish books, actually, about a character called Elizabeth Salander. And she's getting revenge on someone who actually abused her, among other things. And also there's other crimes that happen in Sweden at the time. Daniel Craig is in this one, Bond, and it's quite a gritty underground kind of crime film. You know, clues. She's a cyber kind of hacker, so she's really good with, you know, internet and tech and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an interesting film. But even the title itself, I think it's Stieg Larsson, the author. Remember when I used to go on the tube back in those days, and I used to see people reading this Stieg Larsson book, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, and The Girl in the Spider's Web, I think it is. There's a series of these novels that I think a lot of people love. So I'm not surprised they were turned into movies. So, go check this one out if you like. You can find this one, I think it's on Amazon or Netflix or one of them. You'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be there. Yeah, it's decent. It's an okay watch. And they did a follow-up, or did they do a reboot?
Yeah. Oh, yes, Charlie. Yeah, the original version is with Noomi Rapace, who I know you really like as an actress. And then there was an American version with Rooney Mara.
Brilliant.
So there's two versions, but the Swedish version is better. You're right. The Swedish version is better. Definitely.
Yeah. She's such a brilliant actress.
Yeah, really good. She's gangster. She's in that film that you recommended to me, the one about Monday or something. Oh, damn. What's it called?
Oh, Whatever Happened to Monday.
That's the one.
What Happened to Monday? Yes. Oh, my.
Yes.
Yeah. What? I've watched that about 3 times. How is she so good?
She plays 7 different people, Crazy.
I don't know how someone can be that talented. Yeah, she's brilliant.
Gangster.
Yeah, she's really good. So that leads us nicely onto the main movie, the movie that we're going to be speaking about. I've kind of already mentioned it. It's called Without Remorse. And so this is kind of Michael B. Jordan. He plays a character called John Kelly. And this is all part of Tom Clancy's kind of CIA espionage spy series. And there's loads of movies that they've made out of this character. So there's like Jack Ryan. There's been kind of things like The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games. And I couldn't believe, I don't believe this. There's been so many actors who've played kind of like a part of this kind of world. So there's been people like Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck, Chris Pine. Anyone else?
Harrison Ford, did he say? Has he played one?
Yeah, Harrison Ford,
Yeah, there's been quite a few. And also John Krasinski, I believe.
That's it, which is on Amazon right now, and you can go check that out. But this one is kind of like an extension of that whole kind of CIA espionage kind of world. And so first things first, I'm not going to talk about this. What I want to do is I want to hear what Charlie has to say about it, because I'm more interested in her reaction in watching this movie. So Charlie, what did you make of the movie?
Oh, God. Do you know what? I really wanted to like it. And I think my problem with any project that I watch, the problem with any project that I watch is that I've been on the other side. So I've been an actress, I've been a casting director, I've been a director, I've been on continuity, etc. So it's really difficult to watch something and not have all of those things just straight away come into your mind. I cannot help it. And there was quite a number of continuity issues, and it just threw me. And I'll give you like 2 examples. There's a scene where so Pam, played by Lauren London, they're in a family home. It looks like they've gone for whatever celebration, which for me it just wasn't even clear what the celebration is, who they were talking to. I didn't understand the dynamics in that scene. Is that a dad? Is that a former colleague? Okay, but they make this really big deal of Pam being heavily pregnant and needing to really do that over-exaggerated sit-down of, oh, God, my back, the belly, etc. Shortly after, she just walks into the kitchen looking for her drink. She can just walk normally. Like, she's not holding her back. You don't even see the bump. It just threw me. It threw me. The second example I'll give you is just before a particular character is driven over. There's the clip before that, the mum says, or the partner says, could you help me take out the rubbish? He says, yes, sure. The camera does this weird thing where it just focuses on the daughter, who is clearly looking at someone who I don't think is the mum because of her eyeline, where she's confused about something that may have just happened or is going to happen as per the direction she's been given for that scene. It was so bizarre. So it almost made me feel like afterwards, is the girl is this going to turn into some supernatural thing? Is she got powers? Does she make it's crazy. I watched it twice. Because of that, I had to watch it twice. I was like, I need to. So all of the continuity issues threw me off. That's one. The positive thing I'll say about it though is that I am so here for Michael B. Jordan. I think he's such a phenomenal actor. I didn't really get into him until Creed. He sold me as an actor in those movies. I think he's fantastic. And then, like I've already said, Jodie Smith, again, I didn't know of her until, what's the movie that I said with her and Daniel? What's
Queen
it called
and
again?
Slim.
There you go, Queen and Slim. Yeah, I saw her in that. I thought, yeah, she's amazing. And she smashes it in this movie. But overall, for me, I mean, I'd give it a 4 out of 10, just because a lot of it was lost on me. Some of it was too dark in places as well. And it was like, is that my TV or is it the actual movie?
Yes.
It was just really dark.
Yeah.
I feel like the grittier it got, the more I wanted to actually see it. I'm not really one for gritty, but because of the tension and the emotion that I understood it was trying to have you feel, I was like, well, why'd you have me in the dark? I literally can't see what's going on in this scene. I don't know what's happening. So yeah, it just wasn't for me. It was lost on me. I started looking at my phone, if I'm being honest.
That's a really good, honest review. We like that. You don't always have to like the film. We don't always have to like the film we watch. Sometimes we give low reviews like that as well. And with this one, I have to concur with you in many aspects. I mean, my girlfriend, she fell asleep watching it and I had to finish it myself. But I kind of, the whole setup of you know, a super kind of soldier kind of character or super person who's really highly skilled being wronged by the government or whoever. And that aspect of him going out to, you know, avenge the wrongdoings. I like that better when he was by himself, kind of like cloak and dagger, trying to, like when there was a scene when he got into the car and he put fire around it. I was like, shit, this guy's going gangster. And he just dealt with them. Like,
woo! Yeah,
after that, when it got all... after that, when it got all kind of military and USA, you know, it kind of like, I kind of lost it a little bit. But you know what? Like Charlie was saying, Michael B. Jordan.
I went here for it.
You got to watch Michael B. Jordan in Fruitvale Station. Really good film, 2013. Really good film.
Yes. Yes.
Really
He's
good
so
film.
good.
Yeah, but he's very dedicated. I wouldn't say the film that the letdowns of the film. I don't think it's down to him. He's very dedicated, very diligent actor.
He's a really good actor.
I'm you know, I'll confess, his body is banging. This guy's body is banging. Anytime I see him in the film, I'm like, I need to work out a bit more. This guy's body is banging, honestly.
I know, man. Seriously, this guy he's like a peak, physical specimen. Like seriously. I know, this guy is like ripped to bits. And you know what the thing is? I mean, all I got to say is, I mean, what I'll add is the fact that it isn't anything that they don't bring anything new to the game. Like, that was the thing. I was like really, really hoping that they would bring something fresh, something new. And, you know, because, you know, we've seen movies like this before, like Jason Bourne, for example.
Yeah.
You know, that whole kind of government and spy and all that kind of sort of stuff. And you know, the wrong's been done to a person and they want to get revenge. So, but seeing Michael B. Jordan act in this way, I thought, wow, man, this guy, he's got presence. He's got like such personality. You know, he's going to go off and do really, really great things. And but I was just like, okay, I've seen this before and I've seen that before. And I did like, though, I got to say one thing, that I did like the prison. There's a scene in his prison cell. Yeah. I was just like, you know what? It was gritty. That bit was gritty. And I was just like, him take his top off and rubbing water on his body. I was like, damn, man, this guy is like going
he wasn't playing.
Nah. A good trick, you know.
Do you know what? He acted that scene so well, because a lot of those type of scenes in movies, they're setting you up for the obvious. So, for example, you know he's about to kick ass, for example. But he literally came through, if that makes sense. It wasn't one of those, he's getting ready to do something that he looks, you know, he can't do. He nailed it. And he controlled the whole room, the whole scene. Yep. Same as when one of the dark scenes where he took the knife and he just done a whap, 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 I was like, okay. He is amazing. He is amazing. I was like, wow. Those bits of the movie were the gems for me. Everything else was just lost on me. But him, he was great. And he was so consistent throughout. Yeah.
What you just described is Jason Bourne. Because Jason Bourne is the same sort of thing. But it's him. It's always just him against the rest. But with this film, he teamed up with the army, and that kind of flattened it. If he carried on doing his solo stuff and bang, 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 like, you know, in the dark and that, that would have kept it up for me, but
yeah,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean the continuity for me. I literally need to chat to someone about that.
The whole thing with the ending was they're setting up some sort of sequel, and if you go online and you can kind of read about that, there is kind of like some other part. So yeah, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we're going to get to see another part in this franchise?
Probably, yeah. I think so. Because they
I won't be watching it.
No, you even he said I think he said Ghost Team, because Ghost Recon is a Tom Clancy IP, so they're going to set it off. Maybe it might, do you know what? But it might not be him, because sometimes the characters change, the actors change, the character stays the same. So someone else could take over. So it will carry on for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. But the great thing is, Michael B. Jordan, I think we're going to see him again in Creed 3. I think he's going to be working on that. There's talk of Michael B. Jordan. There's people on, there's people online. They kind of, there's rumors or there's things about him being the next Superman, believe it or not, which is like, amazing. And he's kind of come out on record saying he doesn't think it would happen, but it would be amazing to see kind of like a person of color play such an iconic role. So if anyone can play Superman, I mean, I think he's got a great shout. But I'm with you guys on this one. It didn't bring anything new. Yeah. And I mean, same thing. I mean, I'd probably give it a bit higher, probably about 5.5. I'd probably give it. Yeah,
I reckon about 5 or so. But yeah, you can catch that now on Amazon. So go get your Amazon out and watch that movie if you like. Don't watch it if you don't want to as well. We're not forcing you. So.
Yeah, it's a free one as well. No £13.99.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the end of today's show. That's the end of today's show. Yeah. Oh, great show. Thanks for
that was quick.
It was quick. Time flies. It's been 40 odd minutes, but it feels like a lot less, doesn't it? But it was really good having you on the show this week, Charlie. Really good. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
It does. Thanks for having me. That was fun. Please. Yeah, that was so much fun. I will do. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, guys, again, if you want to win a Rakuten movie code to watch a movie at home, all you got to do is send us on Instagram, Facebook, or on YouTube a hidden gem. Let us know about a movie that you think is really good that not many people know about, and we will send you that Rakuten movie code so you can watch a movie. And there you go.
Boom. So, so that's it. That's it from us. Thanks for listening to this podcast, and we will see you on the other side. Bye.
Yeah, peace out. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.